It's not every day that a real piece of art appears in your city, and given the track record of these being torn down by the council, I wanted to get there fast. So when this statue appeared in St James, it definitely isn't the first time that Banksy has surprised London with an installation. And every time it's happened, something, either the council has taken it down or it's been vandalised or destroyed. And as you'll see, there's a reason why I immediately sprinted to go and see, as soon as I could, the statue. So going back to, where's this one from? 2025, this was quite a recent one. Banksy's latest mural has been scrubbed away. So this is where the council paid someone to come and remove it. It was on the side of the Royal Courts of Justice. So this one was removed pretty quickly. I'm not sure what the time frame was, but over the weekend it's been scrubbed away. This was on September the 10th. So if we go to September 2025. So over the weekend, so it would have been 6th and 7th of September it was there. By the 10th it was gone. Okay, so another one here. This is back in 2014 in Clacton, isn't it? Clacton-on-Sea. What happened to this one? Removed by embarrassed council. This is about, it was ahead of a UKIP election. I think it was a point about, we're all the same. So why are you shouting about different breeds of birds? Don't that they get along? Why can't we, basically? But I'm not sure how long this was here, but the council removed it. That one's gone now. But this is another 2023. This one was stolen. I guess they just removed the. This is another. It's 2023 being removed. Someone came with bolt cutters. Another one. 2024, stolen from above a shop. This was part of his animal work. So I think they just cut off the bricks and the frames and just took it. So you can see, I didn't think I had too much time before this statue might have been removed. And lo and behold, when I first arrived, you could really get up close to the statue. You could get super duper close. You'll see in the photos that, yeah, this is what it was like when it was first installed. You could just walk right up and touch it. But then later, when you went back, it was surrounded by a large perimeter of fencing, so you could no longer get close to it. And I believe it's still surrounded by fencing, and it may get removed because I've heard some council workers say that they're concerned about the structural integrity because he's walking off. It doesn't seem strong enough to hold the weight. So I wouldn't be surprised if health and safety nuts in the UK end up removing it. But you can see that a couple of hours after they put this, and then later is a much wider cordon. I've actually not been back recently. I'd love to go and see if that's still there or not. But yeah, the second time I went, it was more like this. I had to really feed my camera through the fencing to get there. So when I heard about the Banksy, I didn't really have time to pick what camera to bring. I just had to go with the camera that I had. So this is the one that I tend to carry around with me most of the time these days. Probably one of my most recent acquisitions, actually. It's the Fuji GFX 100 RF. And it is an absolute machine. 100 megapixels, very portable, perfect for what I needed, which was high quality, quick digital photography. That was, best camera is the one you have. So this is the one I had. I actually picked this up on eBay for about £1,500 off the RRP. I think this is a significantly more expensive camera, but I think I picked it up for two something, 2,000 something. I love it so much. It actually made me buy this one. But I've got the grip on it. I think it's a small rig grip, and I've got the hood with the with the lens filter on it. So that's the one I went first time with. But as I was there, I just knew that I really wanted to have film photos, as always. So I also went back later with this. Now this is my Fujica GM67. So this is a rangefinder, Fujifilm rangefinder. This is a 56 mil, is it? 50 mil f5.6 lens, which, because it's quite wide, you need to have the viewfinder on it, because this only has frame lines for the longer lenses, I think the 80 and the 120. But fantastic camera, very portable, very easy to use. I think I had a light meter on top as well. Sometimes I was swapping kind of between the viewfinder and the light meter. But fantastic camera, wide angle, and this has that medium format film quality that if I'm going to print one of these photos for my wall, this would be kind of the photos that I would want to be using. An absolutely joyful camera to use. It gives you 10 exposures on a roll of 120. And what I love is it has this secondary shutter button, so that when you're shooting portrait, you've got a shutter button right there, and then when you're shooting normally, you have another one. It requires two turns of the lever, again, which I like. Makes me even more intentional with each shot. And also, leaf shutter, aperture and shutter speed right there, next to each other. It's very easy to use, easy to see, easy to work with. Beautiful, bright viewfinder. And as with a rangefinder, you can see the context of the image, right? The rangefinder gives you a bigger field of view than the image, so you get to kind of put your image in context, which I love. I don't remember now. It was quite a while ago. I think it was actually this lens, which is the kind of the kit lens, the 100mm f3.5. I think it was this one that I had on the camera that day. I think I bought the wide angle one after, to be honest. So I think I had this one. It was a bit tight. It kind of limited the shots I was taking, to be honest. I wish I had the wider angle one. But I mean, talk about an image. These two cameras together. I think it's just so whimsical to have the modern and the old. One small thing that I think is really cool about this as well is the viewfinder. You can see the dial here. You kind of punch in your focusing distance, and as you do that, it changes the angle of the viewfinder to make it to give you the kind of, I think it's parallax correcting or something like that. So as you change, it kind of changes the height of the viewfinder, which is just very cool. But yeah, it makes me very happy to see these cameras together. I think in the same way that I love to see, let me show you. I love to see these cameras together, the 500cm and the 907X. You've got modern and vintage. This is a better system because it's obviously interchangeable, and I can just pop this off, pop this on. But it is a very heavy system. I try not to leave the house too much with it. I mean, firstly, it's very attractive for thieves, but also it is a bit cumbersome to carry around. But these, in kind of little camera bag, I've managed to fit this in like a Billingham Hadley with the dividers in between. And it's very easy. You can take this out, test, and move on. I mean, just as an aside, I also love this in general as a second body. If I am going to go out and do a shoot with this, I will set this to the same ISO as the film that I'm using in the film camera, and then I will also use the aspect ratio dial to dial in, let's say 1:1 if I'm doing Rolleiflex or Hasselblad, so that I can really see the image that I'm taking. I found that if I zoom to the 63mm digital zoom, that's pretty similar to the 80mm on the full 6x6. At first I zoomed to 80 and I wondered why it was too punched in, but I forget that the sensor size on this is kind of a 645 style sensor versus the, in the 6x6, sorry, focusing, versus the 6x6, it's a much bigger piece of film. So I think equivalent on this is like a 63mm 1:1. It gives me a very, very good test for what the square image will look like. Anyway, I digress. For Banksy, the photos that you're about to see, these are the two cameras I used, the two Fujis, and let's go have a look at it. So these are the digital photos that I took on the X100. I ran there on my lunch break. There's only one or two photos here that I actually like, and just classic with digital, I took like 100 pictures, only one of them is good. So look, I was trying in a way to capture not just in both the film and digital. I was trying to capture the sculpture in an isolated way, but also, actually I can take that from the previous video. So we're going to take that and then we're going to say, okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the digital photos then. So here, starting off, I tried to capture some of the media crews descending on the sculpture. I felt a bit awkward taking pictures of them, so I kind of I was too shy to get too close, so I don't really like any of these. I like this one with the guy with his hand on his waist, looking super bored, and everyone just crowding around. It gives me vibes of I'm not sure what the term is, but the Italian men watching construction work with their hands behind their back. It's kind of giving those vibes. I quite like some of these low angle shots, not these ones, but I don't mind this one. The separation with the sky is okay. These are good, I think, in terms of seeing the cage around it. It's quite funny just seeing how it's kind of been penned in, by the government, essentially. It's kind of quite poetic in a way. A couple of selfies there, can't blame me. I quite like this one. It's giving Last Supper vibes. There's just a lot going on in the picture, which I quite like. Just showing the media frenzy around the whole thing. Yeah, same here. I quite like this one in a Martin Parr kind of way. But we haven't got onto my favourites yet. So this is one of my favourites with the cyclist and just all of the things to see, all the observers there, and just the way that the sculpture fits into the space around his neck. This one of my favourites. I like this, but there's some speck of dust. I'm not sure what the hell that was. It was a bird or dust on my lens. But this one with the light coming through was great. I also like this because these are the kind of the pro photographers that just appear out of nowhere. They were amazing. Just I'd love to see their photos, to be honest. I'd love to see what they captured. So yeah, this one I like with the sun coming through. I quite like this because you can see the statue in the context of the statues that were there before. I quite like the framing. I'd probably crop that bottom bit. And then yeah, this is the one I posted on my Instagram. I think this is the cleanest. And this was when you could get super close. You couldn't get this picture later when they'd increased the cordon size. So I think if I'm going to have one for the wall or one for the portfolio, this would be the one. I think it's quite a unique angle. I didn't see anyone else kind of getting super low, and you see underneath the foot, which is where he's stepping off, which I think is one of the most kind of unique parts of the sculpture, is that it's really hanging. It's really the sense of movement is very clear because he's stepping off the plinth. I don't think they're both the same image. That's fine. These are okay. I like the fact that I can see the flag, and I like the negative space of the blue. It's very powerful there. I quite like that. I think these are my favourites. Yeah, that's about the most of it. So all those photos, there's only really two that I like, which is just such classic. Now I wish I could have taken this photo with film, but when I came back with my film camera, it was gone. So this is what I managed to take with film. I think in its own way is quite interesting, just seeing the dense crowds of people pressed up against the fence. In a way, makes it look like a caged animal, right? Like a dangerous idea that's caged. I think it's quite cool, and just seeing the context of the sculptures around it. This one I love, again, just in the Martin Parr kind of capturing the people in the environment. I just think he was he was painting it. You can see the first painting that he did there. Well, he's taking a picture on his phone. I've got a nice blur of the cyclist and the car. And as I was framing this up, I saw the black taxi and the cyclist kind of meeting, and I just thought that it was quite a nice visual, seeing kind of them both move towards with the statue in the middle. So yeah, I like this. This one's it's a bit messy. This one I love, very dense, just to see the kind of the frenzy. This one, I wish I could have seen the flag in the same way that I could see the others, but the sky, I love how this renders the blue sky. It's beautiful. And yeah, I think of these ones, the last few are my favourite. So this, if I was going to generative remove this, I think would be a very, very clean image. And then same with these. So of the film, I think this is my favourite, maybe, from a street photo kind of angle. But then maybe some of these are good too. But I'm just really happy that I got some super clean pictures with the digital before they increased the cordon size, and in particular these ones. So there you have it. Those are the photos that I took of the Banksy to be filed on my desktop and never seen again. You know, jokes aside, this is the everlasting question of most kind of amateur photographers, right? It's when I'm doing street photography, what the hell do I do with it? I think my vision is that I always wanted to fill my apartment with my own art, and this could be a way of doing it. So maybe one of these Banksy prints could be the first installation on my wall. So if you want to see some interior design photography, then come back next time.